Good morning, Mr. Blauch. My name is Molly Boese, and this is colleague.
B.J. Mortimer.
And we will be interviewing you this morning. We've both looked over your resume and really excited to ask you some questions. Before we do, just wanted to know, how was the ride in? Any trouble finding the place?
None at all. Very comfortable ride in. About a half an hour drive, nothing too bad. Yeah, it was very enjoyable.
I just have, my first question I have to ask you is, first, what interests you at our organization and why?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of things that interest me in your organization. I maybe won't go into quite all of them today, but I think one of the main things that interests me is the fact that you're a family-run organization. As you see on my resume, I used to be in a family business, managing that, and then had an opportunity come along that I felt like I just got passed down to expand myself. And so I took that, but it just wasn't quite the same as being in that family business. I think there's something special about a family business, a special tightness that's just really unique to it. So I'd say that's the main thing. But also, I've read some about how you all like to manage your employees, some of the mottos that you have for them. I think some of those are very, very interesting mottos, things that will get you very far in the business world, especially in this industry.
Could you describe for us some of the qualifying experience or what skills you will bring from your past job into the job we are offering here? What strengths you have?
Yeah. Well, I think my strongest strength is people skills. I think I can relate to people fairly easily, even people that are different from me. I think that I can talk to them, I can engage them in conversation, I can ask them about themselves, which I think is huge for this industry. I also like to think I have a strong work ethic. I don't work myself to death, but I'll work my hardest to do everything you ask of me and more. I think that's a big part of it. Yeah, I think those would be my two strong points.
You touched on your work ethic. Could you explain more about that?
Yeah. Well, I've grown up working. All through high school, I held summer jobs, did a lot of that. And while I was working at my family's business, I never asked for special treatment. A lot of the jobs I had were more the lower end jobs that no one else wanted to do, so I'd do them. I just tried to do them to my best ability, even though it wasn't exactly enjoyable. So I did that, and in the work world, I like to think that I work very hard to improve the company I'm in and also myself. Work to better my own personal qualities and try to help the people around me improve on their personal qualities as much as they can too. Just always working to achieve bigger and better things.
Well, moving back into the restaurant industry, could you describe for us an experience you had where you had to deal with an unhappy customer, and how did you go about that?
Yeah. Well, I've dealt with several unhappy customers in the past. When you manage a restaurant or several restaurants over the course of your life, you're always going to have unhappy customers. I've had numerous ones that are unhappy with the food they receive. It's too cold. It didn't come out quick enough. And so, with those customers, you try to talk to them and you try to meet a middle point with them. You can't be completely unreasonable on your side and say, okay, well, I'll give you 10 free meals, but you try to meet them somewhere in the middle. Maybe say, okay, well, this meal's on us, something to try to keep that customer happy and keep them coming back. Even if they aren't happy one time, that doesn't mean that you can't keep them as a customer. It's always easier, as I'm sure you all know, to keep a customer than to get new ones. And so that's something that I've strived very hard to do in the past. If a customer's unhappy, what are they unhappy about? What are your suggestions for the future? What can we do to change this so that next time you come in, you won't be unhappy? Anything like that, that'll not only show them that we want to make changes to keep them happy, but also find ways to get them happy in the moment right there.
Communication is key in any organization. So how would you consider your face-to-face communication? Like, how would you describe it?
I think that's my strong point in the communication types. I'm not crazy about texting and email and all that stuff. I'll do it, I'll do it because I know you have to. It's very hard to communicate long distance without some form of email or phone. So I'll, by all means I'll do it, but I'd much rather talk to the person face to face. I hate trying to handle stuff over the phone. If it's someone that I can go and talk to personally, I never try to hire or let go via the phone. I just think that's disrespectful to the employee. So yeah, I would say I definitely prefer face-to-face communication.
Have there ever been a time when you were forced to make a quick decision, a snap decision, and how did you go about that? How did you evaluate the pros and cons? Were you happy with your decision?
Yeah, I think for the most part I've always been happy with the decisions I make on when you have to make them real quick. There's always a few that you make and then you go back and think, well, maybe I should have done this or done that. It's hard to handle those when you're in the moment. But like you said, I try to evaluate the pros and cons, see what the two sides of the story might be, see what my options are, and then in the end, I think it comes down to doing whatever you think is best for the company. I think if it's something that might involve your personal needs or personal wants, or the personal wants of others, I think it comes down to doing what's best for the company. Trying to keep the company in mind, because at the end of the day it comes down to the company. Without the company there's no job there for you. So I think in those situations you have to put the company first, even if it's something that your peers or others might not want to hear. Sometimes I think you have to just do what's best for the company.
How would you make a customer feel welcome at our restaurant? I know you talked about it earlier, but if you could just explain a little bit more on that as well.
Yeah. One of the big things I think is a hostess. When a customer comes in the door, they should be automatically greeted. Hey, how's it going? How many are in your party? It should be something that's automatic right there, that you're talking to the customer. You have your hostess, interacting with them. Not to a level that's, you don't have to go overboard with it. But at least, hey, how's it going? Just as simple as that. That can be a big piece of it. I think not only your hostess, but also your waiters and waitresses. I think they need to be very personal with the customer and hey, how you doing? My name's such and such. Just being friendly. I think being friendly is huge. If you can get your hostess and your waiters and waitresses and managers to just flat out be friendly, just talk to people, I think is a big piece of it. Because in my experience, the more you talk to a person, the more you act, like you're on the same level as them. Treat everyone with respect. That'll keep them happy. That'll make them feel very welcome.
Well, I think we have covered everything we wanted to, but we wanted to open the floor up to you. Is there any questions that you have for us?
Yeah. I think the biggest question would be what sort of personal qualities are you all looking for in this type of position?
Well, we're definitely looking for commitment for whoever comes on board our staff, looking for long-term, and along with that is innovation, because we're looking forward to the future, perhaps expanding our restaurants, and whoever we bring on as manager needs to be willing to train, have successors, but also think big picture as we move forward. Is there anything?
I think just basically the thing I had to say was about commitment and just having somebody that we can always be dependable on and in certain situations and everything that has to do with that.
Great. Well, thank you very much, and you will be hearing from us.
Thank you.